finally, a source of raw, real, and honest information on healthcare issues that matter most. Welcome to BS-Free MD. From the latest medical information to how to stay sane as a doctor or a patient, no subject is taboo, no BS is allowed. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Doctors May and Tim Hindmarsh.
All right, well, welcome to Doc Tales with Cocktails episode of the BS Free MD podcast. Our little make fun of the world and life and try to share a lighter moment, as well as a cocktail of the week. And if you're watching the video, I'm just like how we are coordinating today, because Tim is wearing pink in his nice Arnold Palmer golf shirt, and
Bay
I
Hill
happen to be
golf shirt.
wearing
You can
pink
only
as
get
well.
it at Bay Hill at Arnie's place.
What happened to all your t-shirt?
Well, I will. I might bring those back.
Paraphernalia.
The rock t-shirts, where I only wear rock t-shirts. That may come back.
Anyway, so just to summarize, we got some horrible accidents, freaky ways to die, as well as
Why we should defund the FDA.
that's kind of boring.
Another Idiocracy is Prophecy episode. DEI equals die. This one you can't literally you can't make it up. May brought one in called Shit Happens. We have our meme of the week, which centers around, well, you'll see, and
That's sharing a lot.
and
And
I think we got almost all of it.
and this time we do have a drink of the week we will share, as well as a snack of the week.
Yes, it will be an integral part of one of the stories because it's so bad.
All right,
It's so bad.
let's get going. Nothing spectacular to report that happened this week in the neighborhood, really.
Not in the neighborhood. In the world, yes. And I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting for Nancy Pelosi to really reveal herself as a lizard person, because that's the next thing to happen.
Nothing would
That's the next
surprise
thing to
me
happen.
now.
That or a good solid anal probing by an alien in a spaceship.
Pass on that one.
Don't knock it till you try it. I hear they have velvety fingers.
I can arrange for you to get your colonoscopy early if you'd like.
Velvety green fingers. You don't
I
know
can
what it's
find you a special gastroenterologist.
I'm sure I can.
All right.
All right. Well,
Take it away.
we got to get going because we got a lot of good, funny stuff to talk about. Hopefully funny stuff. Starting off with weird ways to die. Actually, that bumper looks like a fun way to die.
Actually, that bumper ties into my story being
Yeah.
launched
we'll get there.
into space. Go ahead.
So a Brazilian singer dies from electrocution after hugging wet fan at concert. So the first thing that goes through my mind is like an electric fan. He hugged an electric fan. No, fan like as in person that was listening to him. So the story gets really, really weird. Really, really fast, which is Brazilian musician died from being electrocuted during a live performance on Saturday after he allegedly hugged a wet fan. Ayres Sasaki, 35, was performing at the Solar Hotel in Salinopolis, Brazil on 13th July when he touched the soaking wet fan. The contact between the two triggered a fatal electric shock. And then down here, it gets really weird.
So
People were wondering why the fan was wet.
this is a fan. As
So it
in a
wasn't
person.
apparently it wasn't raining and this person got wet. I assume it's a woman.
Whoa. You assume it's a woman. Why?
Because he's a guy. And do guys just run up and hug other guys that are singing?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Maybe in Brazil.
Second of all, well, there's lots. It's hot.
I mean,
I go outside here in Florida. The
Brazil.
second I step out the door, I'm wet. I'm always wet. It's like a 2 shower a day minimum around here. So it's Brazil. Maybe this fan was hot because it's hot outside. Maybe they were staying cool with water on them, whatever the case may be. So I don't understand the part though that they tripped over a cable or they stepped on a
just
cable?
touched it, like somehow this person must have been on a cable or something, and the electricity was going through them, but they weren't grounded, so they didn't get electrocuted. And then this guy touched the person and he was grounded, and so he got electrocuted and the other person didn't. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Totally freaky.
Totally
that is
freaky.
Very weird.
It is. But it got me thinking about getting electrocuted.
So the singer died and the fan
apparently
technically
survived.
killed them.
Technically. But we know from the Brazilian authorities that we will be getting to the bottom of this because the United States Secret Service and FBI are going to investigate. No, I just made that part.
I thought you were going to make a Brazilian joke or something. Anyway.
Or there was another joke, but I actually censored myself. So it got me thinking about getting electrocuted. And Florida is actually a really popular place to get electrocuted. Not because we have the death penalty, but because we get 3,500 lightning strikes a day.
Yeah, and I'm hearing
average.
some out there right
on average.
now.
3,500 lightning strikes a day on average. So in the summertime, that makes up most of the strikes. And then it averages out to 3,500 or 1.9 million flashes a year. So there's about 27 fatal lightning strikes in the United States a year, and 7 to 10 of them, so about a third to a half, are from Florida.
I know. I could not believe that stat when you said that.
Yeah, so people freak out when it starts lightning here because, especially if you're on the beach, the state's unbelievably flat. Golf courses here have lightning alarms where literally an alarm goes off and lights flash when there's lightning within however many miles of the area to get people off the golf course. Because, if you're good and you have stiff metal clubs, you're just a lightning rod out there.
There's a lot of water as conductivity.
Yeah.
In fact, we had a massive storm yesterday. Oh my gosh. Was it yesterday or the day before? Anyway, I think it was literally over the house, and I swore that the lightning hit the house. It didn't because nothing went off, as you said, but it's really freaky. And I used to think at first, what's a little lightning, thunderstorm? That's pretty cool. Now I'm terrified of them.
3,500 lightning strikes a day. That's a lot. All right.
Oh, maybe I should buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, maybe you should. Your risk is still exceptionally low. I mean, there's 17, 18 million. There's almost 20 million people in Florida, and only 7 to 10 of them get struck by lightning.
A year?
A year. So it's low. Like, I wouldn't put on a tinfoil suit and go jumping around outside on, the roof of my car. You don't want to, tempt fate. All right. Next story is defund. I'm looking for this one. Defund the FDA. Okay, so I'm at work a week or so ago, and one of my coworkers who's actually unbelievably fit. So this was not a diss on this person's activity level, and was eating a bag of cereal popcorn.
Okay, it's popcorn with the Fruity Pebbles.
That's flavored like Fruity Pebbles cereal, but it's popcorn. So then...
It reminds me of, there was a flavor when I was a kid. I just remembered it. It was, what was it called? It was like a pink cotton candy flavor. Don't you remember that stuff, the popcorn that tastes like cotton candy?
Yeah, but it was...
I'm sure it was just as unhealthy as this stuff.
No, there's no way. Because I'm going to read the ingredients, and this might, take some time. Confectionery coating, sugar, palm kernel oil, non-fat dry milk, soy, lecithin, emulsifier, salt, popcorn, Fruity Pebbles, rice, sugar, canola oil, salt, natural and artificial flavor, red 40, yellow 6, yellow 5, turmeric, oleestrin, color blue 1, blue 2, vitamins, minerals, sodium, ascorbate and ascorbic acid, vitamin C, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin B1, riboflavin, and then at the bottom, sunflower oil and or corn oil, canola oil, safflower oil, cane sugar, natural and artificial flavor. And we know what natural flavor is. That could actually be the ass
Fruity
of a beaver.
Pebbles.
And at the very bottom, it says, contains bioengineered food ingredients. So you look at this, especially when you get into like the colors: blue 1, blue 2, yellow 6, yellow 5, red 40. It's just like, this is not food. This is a bag of ADHD. That's what this is.
They fill it with all your essential nutrients, though. Look at all the vitamins. There's more
And
vitamins
there's
in here.
750 calories in that bag.
1 gram of protein per serving, 20 carbs, 7 grams fat, and not much else.
No, it is absolutely staggering.
I want to taste it.
What in the world is the FDA doing? If this is somehow food, like, tell me, what are you doing? Like, you're just making diabetics to sell more freaking Ozempic.
It really tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
It tastes like, no, it is like, because they coat it with fake milk.
Which reminds me of Fruit Loops. It's got the same flavor as the Fruit Loops. So
it's like the cereal wasn't shitty enough. Let's coat it in popcorn, which is also has 0 nutrients.
So Tim tells me to grab a bag of this wherever I can find it yesterday. Lo and behold, in the local supermarket, Publix, they also have Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavor, Oreo, Twix, Snickers, and I forget what else. But I could not believe this crap. But it is fascinating how
I love their byline. At last, America, 2 of your favorite snacks are joined together. Amazing deliciousness. Light, fluffy popcorn with a milky drizzle topped with Fruity Pebbles cereal. The perfect match. Yes, that's like going to John Belushi in 1975 and saying, we have the perfect combination for you. Cocaine and heroin. It's called a speedball. So now kids eat this shit in the morning, and then they snack on it in the afternoon. And it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy of selling this crap all the time. And then you wonder why people are fat, dumb, and stupid.
You know what the thing about popcorn is? You start eating, gosh, I don't want to diss on you, but I watch you eat a whole bowl of popcorn.
Oh, no.
You don't even get full eating it. So this has...
No, it's like you just ate 900 calories and you're not full.
This has 5 servings per bag.
750 calories.
I'm sure you could eat the whole bag in one sitting and then still eat another because you're not satisfied.
No, I could drink a half a gallon of vodka and have less regret the next day than if I ate that bag.
What's frightening is it's funny that it says contains bioengineered food ingredients, and then it has all these dyes and shit that, wow. No wonder our kids and people are so unhealthy.
A little chunky.
All in moderation, I guess, right?
Well, no, some things you don't do in moderation. That is the dumbest statement ever. Everything in moderation, not like everything, like murder in moderation, adultery in moderation.
How many people do you think really...
Heroin injection in moderation? No, not everything in moderation. Some things you don't do at all.
How many people do you think actually look at the label of that stuff?
The people that buy that? Exactly 0. Oh, it tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Tastes like fruity crack cocaine.
Quite frightening.
It's terrifying. All right. Next.
Well, moving right along. Something.
To, what are we doing? DEI. Yes, the DEI.
What is the DEI, Tim?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion equals DEI.
Not the Department of Energy and Information.
Well, I could make up something. Like the FDA, I could call them the effing dumbasses, or I could something else, or the financially dependent administration, or whatever. So let's move on to the DEI equals DEI. Love it.
Oh, I wanted to hear more of that music.
That was a good. The music on that bumper.
Maybe our producer will have to keep playing that over and over.
Okay,
this really good song.
This actually insults people's intelligence because, okay, Duke Medical School. Here's the story. Claims timeliness and individualism is part of white supremacy culture. Okay, first of all, how unbelievably frickin' racist is it to say people that aren't white can't be on time? And it's a medical school. It's a medical school. So this isn't like, Starbucks, if you're hiring people that are Pacific Islanders, they're on island time and they don't like to show up on time. This is a freaking surgeon. You're training surgeons. Operations start at a certain time. It's really expensive. You have to have timeliness. And this is coming from somebody who shows up late to absolutely everything. And so I'm dissing on myself on this one. But somehow, like, how is that white supremacy culture? It's just showing up on time and being respectful to your coworkers and being respectful to your patients. It's a medical school that's promoting this crap. I got to read some of the article because then I'm sure I'll get even more worked up.
So wait, who has to show up on time? Anybody? Or
well, it's
a class.
Well, here it is. The medical
is it
school
to class.
The medical school said. Well, I'm going to answer that. The medical school said its goal is to catalyze anti-racist practice through education. In a 2021 plan titled "Dismantling Racism and Advancing Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion," in the School of Medicine, the guide, praised by the school's dean, called out what it deemed white supremacy culture with its purported nitpicking of being on time, dress code, speech, and work style. It also contains a series of negative terminology vis-a white culture. White, okay, speech style, what the hell is that? What is speech style?
Maybe you
like you speak professionally. You speak professionally to your patients, or are you if you're from one different non-white culture, you come in and you're Samuel L. Jackson. Well, your son, we saved him. We saved his ass. We pulled the cap out of his ass. But man, it was work to save that little motherfucker. Like, is that what's going to happen next?
Oh, but I'm sure.
And I'm a white supremacist for saying a bad word. This is completely insane. And this is the shit that's going to literally, this kind of nonsense and getting away from meritocracy and advancing people based on merit is going to kill somebody someday.
Didn't you just have this discussion on our show, but also with someone else about this happening on the West Coast with the culture there, and now it's coming here.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm allergic to something. My nose is really itchy. I could just claw it off, but that's a side note. No, it's like think about this. Okay, think about this. Okay, there are procedures we do in medicine where you take out lemon-sized tumors from the middle of someone's brain through their nose. Okay, now I don't care if the guy that's doing that surgery 5 days before was snorting cocaine off of a hooker's ass. What I care about is he's the best guy to take a lemon-sized tumor out of the middle of my brain through my nose. So please promote people based on merit. I'm done. Man, I'm going to get all jacked up if I keep eating
I think it was the Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles is having quite an effect.
I think they made your nose swell.
Oh, I think I'm allergic to something. It must be the red dye 40.
Well, it's one of the dyes in there. Pick your favorite color dye.
It's all fake.
Or some of the seed oils or the beaver juice.
Oh, that one's a bad one.
Good grief. Yeah, it's not. Is medical schools the only thing where this is kind of infiltrating into, or is it all aspects?
It's all aspects. But some companies are getting so much pushback now that they're getting rid of their DEI bullshit. They're like, we're done. We can't deal with it. We're losing customers, and they're firing. Like, I think Tractor Supply. Like, okay, why would Tractor Supply do any woke whatever? Because guys that buy stuff from Tractor Supply care about like the trans agenda. Like, I mean, what? Really?
No, I know. It gets
totally apparently ridiculous. I missed it. I saw it on the show notes, but apparently Glenn Beck had a guest that was talking about Harley Davidson going woke. Okay. That is going to last about 25 minutes. Because I have been to several motorcycle rallies, and they try some woke shit at Sturgis, and the place will be burning down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a place literally when is the last time I've been there? It's like 2 or 3 years ago. There's a guy that has a big flatbed trailer and a giant pickup truck, and he just has a massive Trump diorama. And he drives up and down, cruising past all the bikers.
Are all the bikers red? Is that what you're saying?
Conservatives?
Yeah.
Oh, virtually 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Like
I find that interesting.
Yeah, there's a really famous biker bar there. And they sell all of these Trump like comic book shirts, like Drain the Swamp, and Trump's doing whatever, and then he's like has Sarah Palin cuddling his leg, and like every year you go there and they're new, and it's new. Like what are they going to do? Like if he gets reelected and then he's completely out of office, 5 years from now, I don't know what they're going to sell for T-shirts. They're gonna have lost their. The best thing that happened to them.
There'll be someone else to make fun of.
The best thing that happened to him was him losing the last election because it added another 4 years to their marketing strategies. So it was just amazing. All right. Next,
we're gonna need some tissues, but both you and I. I think that Fruity Pebbles is.
I think the Fruity Pebbles is. We're having a talk. It's making me rant more, and then it's irritating my nose.
It's the red dye. Red dye does that.
Okay, so idiocracy as prophecy.
Idiocracy.
Like that one.
That's a good intro.
It's a great movie. So listen to this story. Climate change may be keeping patients from vital doctor appointments.
The climate change in the doctor's office again. I know we talked about this before. Remember that the whole journal.
But okay, so here you go.
Now it's keeping people from doctor appointments.
Listen to the assumptions.
Well, lightning in Florida is going to keep me from going in my car to the doctor.
Well, and don't hug any Brazilians, for the love of God. I mean, they're like an electric chair. Temperature extremes becoming increasingly frequent due to growing global climate change are associated with higher rates of missed primary care appointments, according to a recent published study by Drexel University researchers in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine. So here's the meat and potatoes of this wonderfully crafted study. And people wonder why no one wants to follow the science. The researchers found that rates of missed appointments increased by 0.72% for every 1 degree decrease in daily maximum temperatures below 39 degrees Fahrenheit, and increased by 0.64% for every 1 degree Fahrenheit, 1 degree Fahrenheit increase above 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Patients 65 and older and those with chronic conditions had stronger associations with an increased rate of missed appointments. Okay, you know what this is called? It's called common sense. If it's really cold, patients miss appointments. If it's really hot, they miss appointments. But it's not due to climate change. It's called summer, you asshole. And then it's called winter.
Well, that's the change in the climate if it's really cold or really hot.
Like, why didn't they just say seasons change? We've known this our entire career. As soon as the season changes,
it also causes
people don't show up because it's like in Oregon.
It causes schools to shut down too.
Right. It's like there's nine months of clouds and rain in Oregon, right? 9 months. It hasn't rained for 3 or 4 months in the summer. It's beautiful. It rains once. Nobody shows up. No one keeps their appointments. Urgent care is empty. And I'm like, guys, it's going to be raining here for the next 9 months. Yeah, but this is the first time it rained. So then they don't show up. And it's the same thing, right? It gets hot in the summer there, sometimes over 100 degrees. But in April or May, it'd be the first day over 75 degrees. No one shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, it's nice out and I'm sick of having to wear flippers to walk around in the water. And this is so, like, how does this pass as science? It's complete. Like, they assume the reason it's hot out is because of climate change instead of it's August. Maybe that's why it's hot out, not because of climate change and some bullshit Al Gore movie from, 20 years ago. It's summer.
Gotta have someone to blame.
No, that's not what it is. You have to have something to push your political agenda that always ends the same way, which is Marxist socialism. That's what it is. So if you can't make every single thing you talk about taking control, central power, Marxist socialism, then it doesn't pass. That's what it is. It's the same thing. It's like, men watch too much porn and then they get erectile dysfunction and they can't reproduce. So they'll make something up about how you have to take control of the internet and then give everyone Viagra and make it some Marxist socialist program. It always ends the same way. It's not climate change. It's not debating the merits of climate change. The climate may be changing. I don't know. But you lose the entire argument because the solution is always so unbelievably bad. It's like,
right.
Well, these guys are watching porn. It's inhibiting their sexual function. So the solution to that is to cut their penises off. Well, maybe the solution is to counsel them on their behaviors and change their behaviors so that they could actually have appropriate
kids who are
intimate relationships.
Really unhappy about their situation.
It's not the problem. It's the solution. The solution is always the same.
It's what
chop it off. Yeah. It's always the solution. Choppy one, chop. That's the solution. Every time. Right?
Simple.
It's a simple solution. It's too hot outside. I think we need to cut your son's penis off because it's too hot outside. Well, it's much too cold outside. I think the only solution
you don't have to cut it off.
Is if we can find it, we'll cut it off. I'm sorry, it's just much too cold. We couldn't even find it. It's just...
You would know. We shared that story before.
Other story.
Running in 40 below. There you go.
Okay. What's next? I don't know anything about this story. This isn't my story.
Well, next,
is the shit
I
happens?
thought it'd be kind of fun to do an episode, true or false. But I thought I'd share this story that was sent to me by a friend about shit.
So this is called.
Shit happens. Shit happens. All right. So apparently this story was circulating about a tourist that got diarrhea on a roller coaster, splashed 14 people in this unfortunate event. So I started to read this. And actually it goes back to January 2018 that was published about this unfortunate bout. Someone had an unfortunate bout of diarrhea while visiting an amusement park in Spain. This gentleman supposedly was taking a vacation, convinced by his friends to get on a ride at this park. The ride was called the Ferrari Land. He apparently knew that he was suffering from some gastroenteritis, didn't really want to, but accepted. And it says his nightmare then began. On the first slope, the speed hit the equivalent of 124 miles per hour or 200 kilometers an hour. The man noticed that his stomach was not doing well. At the first looping, he couldn't stop himself and was forced to let it all out. Diarrhea was flying all over the place and splashed 14 people who were sharing the exciting ride up until that point. Many of them then threw up because they had feces on their hair, face, and clothing. The man faced no charges because his incident was all involuntary. So this
How does that not stay in your pants?
This article,
like it literally like it shot out of his I guess he wearing shorts and it just like that. That's impressive,
right? So I'm like, wow.
He needs the Biden diaper.
Let me check this out. I looked it up. This article was published in a journal called what is it? The 8 Shit article.
So it's BS.
Yes, and it is actually on a site called Hey Notica, which is a humorous site, which is all entertainment. It's all fiction, and kind of like The Onion. It's all satire. But
Like puke, I would believe.
so that actually did not happen. However, I started to look up horrible things on roller coasters other than.
But the shit story we did several months ago where that lady shat all the way up the aisle of the airplane, and they actually had pictures of it. And then they had to divert and fly 2 hours back to where they came from because the airplane was so contaminated.
Oh yeah.
That actually happened.
Absolutely.
That's like,
so then I was reading, and there's an article that was published about theme park ride operators and sharing the worst things that guests have ever done or things that they've seen. And of course, there's all kinds of them where people, same thing. This one, apparently someone did have diarrhea all over the place. It was coating the whole inside of the seat, and it's on everything, and they have to clean it up. We were on a ride where someone threw up on it. It was gross.
yeah, but that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Apparently people at Disney, at Disney World, when the lines get really long, they just go to the corner of the lineup area and throw a deuce. Apparently that's fairly common.
It's like filthy. It's
Yeah,
like third world levels.
Hey, it's Pirates of the Caribbean.
But I mean,
and I've been standing in line for 45 minutes.
Rides are dangerous though, because aside from so I was reading about all these incidents. It's actually a feed on Reddit where people are talking about things that they've experienced firsthand.
Because everything on Reddit is not bullshit.
No, but people are like sharing about common thing is loose objects, especially phones, because people want to like video their whole experience, so they lose control of their phone, and it goes flying back and takes out.
That would be really dangerous.
So this one this one person said that it was in the era of COVID and they had to wear a mask, and some girl like gets off and rips her mask off, and she's got glass and like blood and the whole bit because someone's camera or phone flew back.
See, masks don't work.
I guess there's been flying water bottles.
Well, who lets them take a freaking water bottle?
I don't know. People carry all kinds of shit on there.
They have the little lockers where you're supposed to put all your shit.
Supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, cell phone injuries is a common one, of course. And then there was stories of people, freaking out and actually passing out and having heart attacks. One guy shared that, his mom she was a nurse, did CPR on someone when the ride landed because they were unconscious. So literally scared them to death.
Like our daughter getting on the Everest ride. And she was freaking out. And I just looked at her and said, "Get on now." And these people are just glaring at me. "You're like the worst person ever." I'm like, no, she needs to learn that it's not as scary as she thought it was.
I don't know. Like after reading all these reports of injuries on there, and remember we went to that one ride up in Ohio.
That's Cedar Point.
The Top Thrill Dragster, where that thing launched, and you watched people, all their shoes were blowing off. Flip-flops, shoes, sandals, flying all over the place.
Did you know that they modified it? They took down
you told me.
The old Top Thrill Dragster. So the Top Thrill Dragster would go 0 to 120 in 4 seconds, and then it went up 420 feet, and it went over the top. So it was a 0G turn. It looped over, it just like flipped over the top.
If you're lucky,
and then you went straight down and spun the 420 feet, and then it stopped. Well, the new one, it goes forward to like 120 miles or whatever. It goes almost all the way to the top of the 400 feet. It comes backwards. It goes up another 420 feet the other way. Then it goes forward and goes over the top. And I'm like, delicious.
No way. I would be that person that made that story true. Delicious. And empty my pants all over that ride. As well as there was a ride you've forgotten, but we were back in our homeland at the carnival.
That was awful.
Someone threw up in front of us.
Well, and then that we went on that so bad. Like those cheap carnival rides. It's they just spin like you're just in a centrifuge, right? And we got off of that. We're like 30. And apparently we weren't 18 anymore. And we're just laying there on the ground, just wishing we were dead because we were so nauseated. That was awful.
That's when I stopped. Yeah, I had stopped going a long time before that. But no, there's a lot of things that could.
I figured out
I'm
though
not getting
from
on there anymore.
skydiving. So there's a trick in skydiving. If you spiral the canopy really quickly, you fix a point on the earth. And
Yeah.
you stare at one
You
point,
stare at one point.
and then you don't get dizzy.
Mhm.
And I've done that. And I've been on rides with the kids because they wanted to go on the like spinny rides. And you just like find a bolt and you just like drill a hole in that thing.
Well, that's the secret of figure skaters.
Yeah, apparently.
Even though they're spinning around, you still have to fix your eyes on something out there.
All right, what are we drinking? We are drinking Lemoncello,
Lemoncello special
traditional Sicilian style.
concoction from
This is from the
Loaded Cannon
Loaded
Distillery down
our
the
friends
road.
at the Loaded Cannon.
And the special story behind this bottle of Lemoncello.
We won it
Uh-huh.
in trivia
Last
because we're
week,
so smart.
the week before, we created the team with the final question. Last week, you mostly, carried the team to the end, to victory.
To victory.
We won by 1 point, but
Yeah, and it was great because we teamed up with these other guys, and the deciding factor was Skunk Ape. Skunk, like, solid win
you'll
on
have
this.
to tell them that bit of trivia.
The question is, in Florida, there is a Sasquatch-like or Bigfoot-like creature. What's its name? And it's Skunk Ape, and I had no idea. But apparently people that have lived here longer than us know who the Skunk Ape is.
So if you did not know about Lemoncello, it's kind of fun because you can watch them make their liquors
They
back
actually
there.
put
They
lemons in.
actually, yes, Lemoncello is made with the lemons hanging in little cheesecloth hammocks suspended above the high-proof spirit, rather than peeling the lemons and immersing the pods right in. That's how you're supposed to do it. And then the alcohol volatilizes pretty easily at room temperature, and the vapors are macerating the lemon peel. So anyway, different kind of flavor. Best stored in the freezer.
Oh, whoopsie. And it doesn't have yellow dye 6 or whatever the hell.
No, there's not even
No, it's just
mention
vodka
of
and lemons
anything
and sugar.
of vodka and lemons.
And sugar. There's sugar. All right. I think it's time for meme of the week. Okay, so I have two. The first one is the runner-up. And if the first runner-up is unable to sustain its duties of meme of the week, I mean, if the winner is unable to sustain its duties as meme of the week, the first runner-up will be then elevated to meme of the week, just like Miss America.
Miss America?
The first
I
runner-up.
thought you were talking about the presidential race.
The first runner-up is this one, which is, let's see it. Old Turkish proverb, when a clown moves into a palace, he does not become a king. The palace becomes a circus.
That is brilliant.
That's from our friends El Gato Malo, the bad cat. And of course, the person in the clown suit is Joseph Robinette Biden.
He looks pretty good in that.
Well, probably.
The little jester bells on his head.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, they wouldn't lose him because they would hear the tinkling every time he wandered
We need
off.
that song. It's that old song in my head. Those bells that jingle, jingle, jingle.
No, I got Spurs.
Oh, it is Spurs.
That jingle, jingle, jingle. It's like the president has bells, so when he toddles off, they know where to find him. Yeah. Ching, ching,
Like a
ching.
cat with a
Well, right.
collar.
So that would be like if you were a little girl with freshly washed hair, that would be the most horrifying sound you would hear is the Biden bells coming to you. And then shortly after that, you just hear the bells, and then the sniffing. I can't stand it. Oh, yes.
That's so creepy.
Well, it is pretty creepy, I will admit. Okay, next, the winner, which
The
is
winner of the week?
absolutely brilliant for meme of the week, is this one. Biden was almost full term, so the Democrats had to abort him. I'm sorry. That is so brilliant and so cutting. I love that. And then it's got the picture of him with the, mouth agape doing his best impersonation of somebody with Parkinson's
The shock
disease.
and awe. The shock and awe. Aw. You know,
You're not starting to feel sorry for him.
I was just going to say
I'm
not feeling sorry for him, but it is hard.
Well, it's elder abuse.
Yeah, because I look at a family member and I look at him, and there's no difference. One is living in a full care nursing facility, the other
is living in a full care nursing facility.
Yeah. Should
except one is paying for it in a private facility and the other one is living in public housing.
Yeah, called the White House.
It's just like, oh my gosh, you can't make this up. Yeah, that was I saw that and I was just like, that's great. Any meme that makes me laugh out loud. Makes me LOL. Those are good.
Pretty good. All right. Well,
man, we did all of those things in 41 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah, you're getting really good with keeping on track, not getting waylaid, staying on time.
I didn't even take my Ritalin.
You don't need to. You had red dye 40.
Apparently, red dye 40 is Ritalin.
Whatever it is, it tastes good. Don't recommend it.
Anyone watching this, if you comment, do you want me in my rock shirts for this show? Because I have lots of rock shirts, or would you prefer the more Floridian golf shirt cocktail attire?
You're ready for the club. I think we should head on down.
Ready to go clubbing.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We thank you for being here, watching Doc Tales with Cocktails. I hope you're sharing or enjoying your favorite.
And rate us and subscribe and do all of those things you're supposed to do that we're supposed to tell people on social media.
Check out our new website.
New website is absolutely
as well
bonkers.
As the upcoming show of the week. And Thursdays is our guest interviews. All right, everybody. Enough of that. Over and out. Till next time.
It's no secret that medicine is a bit uptight. That's why Tim and I created BS Free MD, to mix things up a little and have fun in the process. Besides, we are having these exact same discussions all the time, so we thought we might as well invite everyone to the party. If you really like us, you can get plenty more and maybe see one of Tim's cool tattoos on our Instagram or Facebook pages at BS Free MD. See you next time.
But we try to keep BS Free MD as raw and real as possible. We can't be held responsible for any medical decisions or discussions had as a result of what you've heard on the show. We know, bummer. But the truth is, we really do care about your questions. So feel free to reach out to us by email at doc@bsfreemd.com.